I do have one photo to show you. I do want to get your take on this. There is a rapper. His name is Lil Pump, and he has spoken at Trump rallies before. And now he's got a tattoo of Donald Trump's mugshot on his thigh. I just want to know your general thought on this. I don't know if you have any tattoos. I don't know if you have a Donald Trump mugshot tattoo.
I have no tattoos.
But this is a very important. This is actually a phenomenon. This has happened. Multiple rappers have gotten giant Donald Trump mugshot tattoos. There are groups of people who have been brought up, rightly or wrongly, to think that the system is rigged against them and that the justice system is rigged against them. And they look at a guy like Joe Biden and they can go back to the speech, we play it often, where Joe Biden talks about crack cocaine and using crack cocaine when this was a predominantly inner city drug.
Right.
And how he's creating mandatory minimums for like putting these people in jail forever, destroying their lives forever.
Exactly.
That, of course, massively disproportionately affected young black men.
Right.
Those same guys can hop online anywhere and see mountains of crack in Hunter Biden's boudoir, mountains of illegal activity caught on camera. They did a scintilla of what Hunter Biden is on camera doing.
Exactly.
And Hunter Biden gets nothing. Zippo, zilch, nothing. No one is even coming after him for the drug use.
Exactly.
And their lives were destroyed.
And I think they've also recognized that during the Trump administration, they specifically addressed the unequal treatment of use of regular cocaine versus crack and how the sentencing was different and how you needed to equalize that for people. And, the first step and the second step movements in terms of prison terms, all of these things were noticed by the group of people that you just mentioned who saw the unequal application of the law.
Is this why rappers are endorsing Donald Trump?
Among other things. Rappers, some people don't like rappers. But for the most part, they have learned how to use the system as it exists to their benefit, to their great financial benefit. And a lot of them are very smart people, very good businessmen. So I wouldn't ignore what they have to say.
I'm not a huge rap fan. I understand that you're a big classical music fan, but it is a phenomenon to see rappers who have never been political, right? Or have been Democrat pawns come out and just, without any prompting, endorse Donald Trump, right? Lil Pump, Waka Flocka, 50 Cent, these guys, Kodak Black, these guys, are just coming out publicly before a lot of Republican politicians actually endorsing Donald Trump, right? That's pretty remarkable. Snoop Dogg is like, hey, Trump's my boy. And, what's that about? Like, I love that guy. He says, that's a pretty unbelievable about face.
Well, I think that just amplifies what I just said. A lot of these guys are very smart. They're good businessmen. They know how to analyze things. And rather than just being led around by the nose with a nose ring, they think for themselves.
That's right.
That's good.
Has that mugshot backfired?
Without question, it's backfired. And, he should look like that after what they're doing to him. There's no question about it. But it's really a look of determination to get to the bottom of this. I talked to him a couple of days after the mugshot was done. And he's more determined than ever to give lie to what the left is trying to do to him.
What did he say about the mugshot?
He said, that's how I feel.
Looking straight. Yeah.
He'll say, in the end, justice will prevail. And, people should not get discouraged. I hear people all the time, they say, is there any hope for our country? Are we gone? It's always darkest before the dawn. And sometimes it has to be pretty dark before people can see the light. But I think that the left has underestimated the intelligence of the American people. And this has been going on for a long time. But if you go back and you look at the congressional record, January the 10th, 1963, over 60 years ago, Congressman Herlong from Florida read in the 45 goals of communism in America. Most of those things have been accomplished. And when Khrushchev said to Eisenhower, your grandchildren's children will live under our system, that's what he was talking about. They know what they're doing. We, the American people, are being manipulated to our own destruction. And that's why it's so important that we help people to understand what's going on. I hope people in the Black community begin to do some studying and discover that the Republican Party was established as an abolitionist party, and that they were the ones who really fought to get slaves free. They were the ones who fought for the freedmen after emancipation. They were the ones who pushed the voting rights and the civil rights movement. You know, they're the ones who try to create an environment where people can excel on the basis of what they do as opposed to what someone else has done. And it really, there was a time when I was a kid growing up, there was much more interest in the Black community, and you can do this. And now there's much more emphasis in you're a victim and somebody's causing your problem. It makes a big difference because my mother, if anybody was a victim, my mother was one. You know, large rural family in Tennessee, bounced from home to home, less than a third grade education, married at age 13, then discovering that your husband is a bigamist. She would never accept the role of victim. And she never let us make excuses. And I think it made a heck of a difference.
When you were in charge of, I think that you were in public housing when you were growing up. You can correct me if I'm wrong there. I think you lived in public housing for a time.
We lived in Boston for a couple of years in multifamily tenement housing.
And you write in your books about, you know, how bad of an experience that was, the rats and cockroaches and everything, and what a horrible way to grow up in that government-funded housing. And then you go on to be in charge of housing and urban development for the Trump administration for 4 solid years. That's quite a jump. What did you find when you were HUD secretary? What's broken in the system?
Boy, there was a lot broken in it. When I came there, one of the things that shocked me was that there had not been an audit for many years because there were so many material defects you couldn't do an audit, even though it is required that every federal agency have an audit once a year. So that was job one, fixing that. That made a huge difference when we were able to actually know where the money was going.